so first we're doing, this is the keto bread. I've been wanting to show you for a long time. I've kind of tweaked the recipe, and so it's like really low carb, which is what you want in keto. And when you eat this, it's actually really good for you. It's got lots of good fiber and lots of good ingredients. So 3 cups of almond flour, and I'm just working out the lumps right now because you don't want it in the bread. Okay, and half a cup of the coconut flour. And one of the things that I've discovered works really well, the original recipe calls for psyllium. But my beloved partner uses this. It's a daily fiber boost. So my recipe calls for a half cup. And I'm finding that it makes it just that much more bread-like if you use that. But you can use psyllium, okay? So I'm going to add that to it. Now I'm just going to blend it all up together. So I just take my hands and I just make sure that it's all evenly tossed and blended. So all the ingredients are mixed in well with each other. Okay, so now I'm going to take 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. But first, before we do the apple cider vinegar, let's make sure that the baking powder and the salt are all mixed into the bread mix. And just do it by hand. I just do it by hand. Do it however you want. Just feels good to get my energy into the bread I'm going to eat. So, that's that. Now we're going to go with 4 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're going to go with 2 tablespoons of vegan keto oil. So avocado oil, MCT oil, although I wouldn't use MCT for baking. So that's 2. I use organic olive oil. So again, now I'm just going to blend it up with that wetness. Just use your hands just to break it all in and blend it all up. And then what you're going to do next is you're going to add the warm water. So you want to warm the water on the stove. I've already done that earlier. So it's still just warm. You don't want it hot. So this is all nice because it's all been nicely blended all together. So the oil and the salt and the vinegar are all nicely blended in. Okay, now I'm going to do it cup by cup. I'm going to pour a cup in first of warmed water. Okay, so we're just going to pour that in everywhere. And then what I like to use is a spatula. So you can just start working that in. The wonderful thing about this bread is that you don't have to knead it, and you actually don't have to let it rise either. It's just perfect. Okay, so I'm going to work this in. Okay, let's show you what I've got so far. It's smelling really good. Okay, so you see how it's starting to come together. So that's just 1 cup. And that might, I mean, it calls for 3 cups. But I just find it doesn't need that. this is mixing up really good. I'm going to add a little bit more. Okay, so just adding just a tad bit more. Again, I want to be really careful with this because I don't want it so wet. Okay, and I really feel like this is going to be enough. Now, here's the stuff. It's kind of slipping off the hand now, and my hand is becoming clean. I think that's a good sign. Okay, now here's where I've tweaked it. I've got some soaked sun-dried tomatoes. I've got some beautiful olives, and I've got some beautiful red onion. So as much as you want. But this is how much I've done. It's a little ramekin, and it's about 2/3 full. And just cut up as much as you want of each of it. You know, if you like more olives, do that. If you like more sun-dried tomatoes, do that. I was going to make some crackers, but it's a little harder to do than just the regular bread. So I'll show you what I'm going to come up with here. Okay, then the final little bit. I've crushed up a little bit of, probably a teaspoon of rosemary. It's going to be a really savory bread. And then I'm just going to blend all this in with it. Give it a little bit, so it's almost going to be like pizza-like. You could probably do a pizza dough with this. I haven't tried it yet, but I think it would work really well. And I'm sure crackers will work really well with this as well. So, okay, back at you. I've got these really cool small little loaf pans, and they seem to work really good. So, but they do need to be oiled. So I'm just going to take some coconut on a paper towel, and I'll just oil up the sides and the bottom, and I'll just keep going. Just get these nicely oiled so they come out really nice. Okay, so those 8 are all nicely oiled. So now I just take a bit of it and make a little ball, and I just plunk it in each one, and so I'll just do that. It's all got all that nice sun-dried tomato and olive, and got some nice salt in there with red onion. So now what I do is I just press it. I just press it down, get it in there. So I'll do that. Okay. And then you might have to top it up a bit, each one, just to bring it up a slight bit. And don't be afraid to add some after the fact. It's all good. Probably going to have a bit left over. Sometimes I have some left over. Sometimes I don't. I'll just make a bun out of it, which is really good. You can use it like a piece of toast. Okay, then I set the oven to 375, and then I put these in for about an hour. So that's it. I'm going to show you some pictures, and hope you've enjoyed this keto bread. Okay, blessings. Happy New Year.